All right, so are you ready to boost your English fluency?
Absolutely.
But without getting lost in textbook land.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because today we're diving into some listener notes on fluency hacks.
Mm-hmm.
These are really cool tips for sneaking English practice into your day. And I'm intrigued already.
What really stood out to me was the focus on small, consistent actions.
Exactly.
So it's not about these, massive study sessions.
Right.
It's more about turning those everyday moments,
Yeah, but
into chances to engage with the language.
it's those tiny, manageable steps that add up.
Exactly.
Like the script emphasizes consistency is key.
That's spot on. And the beauty of these little hacks is that they're flexible.
Right.
You can fit them into your existing routine,
Mm-hmm.
and they make learning feel much more organic and way less like a chore.
Okay, so let's jump into the first one.
Sounds good.
It's all about thinking in English.
Oh, I love this one.
So instead of mentally translating from your native language,
Right.
the idea is to train your brain to think directly in English.
That's it.
So like imagine getting ready in the morning.
Okay.
Instead of thinking, I need to brush my teeth
Mm-hmm.
in your native language, try thinking, time to brush my teeth.
Time to brush my teeth.
But in English.
Yeah. Simple. Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like giving your inner monologue an English makeover.
Exactly. And it's so powerful because when you translate, you're adding that extra step
Yeah.
and it slows you down.
Uh-huh.
Speaking feels less natural.
Right.
So by thinking directly in English, you're building those neural pathways.
Oh, interesting.
And it makes the language feel automatic and effortless.
So it's like a mental shortcut.
Exactly.
And the more you use it, the stronger and faster it becomes.
It does.
Okay, I have to ask,
Yeah.
have any personal anecdotes about this?
Oh, absolutely. So when I was learning Spanish, I used to narrate my cooking in Spanish.
Really?
Yeah, it felt silly at first,
I can imagine.
but it helped me get comfortable with the language.
Wow.
I'd be thinking, okay, now I'm chopping the onions. I need to add more garlic.
That's awesome.
Those little moments add up.
I love that. Like, I can totally see myself doing that while making coffee.
There you go.
Okay, so what's the next hack?
This one is all about visual reinforcement.
Okay.
It's called labeling items around your home.
Oh, I've heard of this.
So you grab some sticky notes and you label everyday objects
Mhm.
in your house with their English names.
So it's like creating your own little immersive English world.
Exactly.
So like instead of seeing door, you'd see a sticky note that says door.
4.
And you could even take it a step further, right?
Please?
By writing a simple sentence on the sticky note like, I'm opening the door.
That's the idea.
Okay, so what's the benefit of that?
Well, you're constantly exposed to those words,
Yeah.
and you're seeing them in a natural context. You're
Okay.
not just memorizing lists. You're actually seeing how these words are used in the real world.
So that makes a lot of sense to me because it would help those words stick in your mind.
Absolutely. And to make it even more challenging, you can add synonyms to your labels.
Oh, interesting.
So instead of just window, you could write window, pane, glass.
Oh, that's cool.
Or you could write the window overlooks the garden. Something like that.
That's a great idea.
Uh.
Okay, I want to invite our listeners to think about their own homes right now.
Yes.
What objects could you label to start practicing this?
Think simple.
Yeah, it could be a table, a chair, even your phone.
How do you interact with those objects?
Right, what actions, what adjectives?
Exactly.
It's all about turning everyday moments into little practice sessions.
That's it.
All right, let's move on to hack number 3. This one's all about having fun.
This is a good one.
It's called using media for fun, not just study.
Love it.
Movies, music podcasts, you name it.
All of it.
So a lot of people, they approach English language media like a textbook.
Mm-hmm.
They stress over every word they don't understand.
Yeah.
This hack is all about letting go of that
Right.
and enjoying it,
Okay.
like you would in your native language.
Think about it.
Okay.
You learned your first language not through flashcards and drills.
Yeah.
It was through exposure and immersion.
Right.
You heard the language spoken around you, you watched TV, you listened to music,
Uh-huh.
and you just absorbed it naturally.
Yeah.
This hack encourages you to do the same with English.
So instead of getting bogged down in the details, you just relax. Enjoy the story, the music, the humor.
Just let yourself get lost in it.
Yeah. And the script actually suggests using subtitles
Oh, yeah.
in English to help you follow along.
That can help.
But if you're feeling really brave,
Mm-hmm.
try turning them off and see how much you pick up
That's a good challenge.
from context.
Yeah, it's all about finding what works for you and making it part of your routine.
I love that. So it's like sneaking in English practice without even realizing it.
Exactly.
Okay, ready for a fun one?
Oh, I love fun ones.
This one might sound a little silly,
Okay.
but it's incredibly effective.
All right, let's hear it.
talking to yourself?
You know what?
I
I was a little skeptical about this one at first,
Okay.
but I decided to try it, and I was amazed.
Really? Tell me more.
Well, I used to feel really self-conscious
Mhm.
about speaking English out loud,
I get it.
afraid of making mistakes,
Yeah.
sounding silly.
Sounding silly.
But with this hack, you're your own audience.
Oh, right.
There's no pressure to be perfect.
Yeah.
You can just experiment.
Right. And you can't really judge yourself.
Exactly. And you can do it anywhere.
Anywhere.
In the shower, while you're cooking,
Walking the dog.
on your commute, anywhere.
So what kinds of things would you talk to yourself about?
Oh, I describe my surroundings,
Mm-hmm.
practice new vocabulary words,
Yeah.
even have imaginary conversations in my head.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes I'd even sing
Really?
in English.
You know what I love? That you embrace the silliness.
I know you have to sometimes.
And you just went for it.
Yeah.
It's so inspiring.
But the point is, it creates that safe space.
Right.
To practice without that fear of judgment.
Uh-huh.
So you can try new pronunciation patterns, experiment with grammar,
Yeah.
just get comfortable with the sound of your own voice in English.
I'm definitely going to try this. So before we move on to the next hack, listeners, I have a challenge for you.
Sounds fun.
Think about a time when you could incorporate this into your day.
Maybe it's getting ready in the morning.
Or walking the dog.
Or doing dishes.
Uh-huh. Try to squeeze in even just 5 minutes of talking to yourself in English.
Yeah, see how it feels.
All right, let's move on to hack number 5.
Okay.
This one is about building your reading skills. Daily reading moments.
I like it.
So it's about consistency over quantity here.
Right?
You don't need to carve out hours to read a novel.
Nope.
Even 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference.
It all adds up.
It really does.
The key is to find those pockets of time in your day
Yeah.
and fill them with English reading material.
Right.
It doesn't have to be complicated either.
Right.
A news article,
A blog post?
a short story, even the back of a cereal box.
Seriously.
Just expose yourself to the written language
Makes sense.
as much as possible.
And the script recommends actively engaging with the material,
Yes.
like summarizing what you've read
All
or
right.
picking out new words to learn.
That's a great idea.
So it's not just reading passively, it's really interacting with the text
Exactly.
and making those words part of your vocabulary.
I used to love highlighting phrases
Mm.
and then trying to use them in conversations later.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a good way to make those words yours.
It is.
There are so many good resources out there, too,
There are.
for finding these reading moments, like apps,
Yeah.
Blinkist.
Blinkist is fantastic.
What's that?
They offer condensed nonfiction books.
Oh, that's great.
Perfect for those short bursts of reading.
Okay, cool. And then Merriam-Webster Word of the Day.
I love that one.
That's a fun and easy way to expand your vocabulary.
It's like a daily dose of English enrichment.
I love that. And speaking of daily doses, the final hack on our list is all about social media.
Oh, this is a big one.
Using social media for language practice.
It's a gold mine.
Right.
Yeah.
It's full of authentic English content.
Think about it.
Okay.
Native speakers from all over the world sharing their thoughts in English.
So it's a fantastic way to expose yourself to different accents,
Absolutely.
slang, and things you wouldn't necessarily get from a textbook.
All the good stuff.
So the script suggests following accounts that interest you.
Yes.
So news organizations, celebrities,
Yeah.
people who share your hobbies.
Exactly. And don't just observe.
What do you mean?
Leave comments, engage in conversations.
Yeah.
Even try writing your own posts.
Oh, in English.
It's a low-pressure environment to practice.
That's a good point.
and get feedback.
Plus, it's a great way to stay up to date on things happening in the English-speaking world.
You know what it's like.
What?
It's like turning your social media feed into a personalized English learning platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, listeners, I want to give you a moment to reflect here.
Yeah, take a moment.
Which of these 6 fluency hacks resonated with you?
Which one are you most excited to try?
Maybe even share your thoughts with us on social media.
We'd love to hear from you.
And remember,
Yeah?
the most important thing is to find what works best for you and to have fun along the way.
Have fun.
So it's amazing how much we can achieve when we just break down a big goal like fluency into smaller steps.
Like the saying goes, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Exactly.
And in this case, it might begin with like labeling your coffee mug
Right.
or, narrating your breakfast in English.
Okay, so speaking of steps,
Yeah.
what would you say to someone who's feeling a little overwhelmed by all these options?
That's a good question.
How do you choose which one to start with?
I think it's about considering your own learning style and preferences,
Okay.
like are you a visual learner,
Uh-huh.
then maybe that labeling items hack will really appeal to you. But if you're more auditory,
Yeah.
then listening to podcasts or music might be a better fit.
So it's all about finding what works for you and what you can actually do.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to limit yourself to just one hack.
Oh, that's true.
You can mix and match, try different combinations,
Yeah.
see what works best.
And the key is to make it fun and engaging,
Absolutely.
not like a chore.
Not at all.
So you have a lot of experience in language learning, right?
I do.
What advice would you give to someone just starting out
Oh, that's a good question.
on their English fluency journey?
I would say, first and foremost, be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
Learning a language takes time.
Uh-huh.
It takes effort. There will be moments of frustration.
I think that's true of anything worth doing,
It is, but don't let those moments discourage you.
right? We all make mistakes.
Exactly. Mistakes are a part of the process.
Yeah.
They're opportunities to learn and grow.
That's a good way to look at it.
So don't be afraid to experiment, even if you're not always sure if you're getting it right.
Sometimes we get so caught up in trying to be perfect
Yes,
that we forget to actually enjoy the process.
that's so true. It's important to create a safe learning environment
Mm-hmm.
where you feel comfortable making mistakes.
I like that perspective.
Okay.
So is there anything else you'd like to add about these fluency hacks?
You know, I think the most important thing to remember is that language is about connection.
Connection.
Yeah, it's about being able to communicate with others,
Uh.
share your thoughts, your ideas,
Uh-huh.
and experience the world in a deeper way.
It's like opening a door to a whole new world of possibilities.
Exactly. So keep that sense of connection in mind
Yeah.
as you're working on your English.
Okay.
Find ways to use the language to connect with others.
So that could be through conversation,
Mm-hmm.
reading,
Right.
even just enjoying English language media.
All of it.
Beautifully said.
Mm.
The more we connect with the language,
Yes.
the more rewarding it becomes.
Right.
So let's revisit some key takeaways from the episode script.
Okay.
We started by talking about consistency.
Small daily habits.
Right. Those can be more effective than like
Yeah.
sporadic bursts of intense study.
It's about making English a part of your life.
Yeah. Even if it's just for a few minutes each day.
A few minutes.
Then we talked about the importance of personalization.
Mm-hmm.
Finding the hacks that actually work for you.
What resonates?
Exactly.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
I think that's true for a lot of things in life.
It is. It's about finding that journey that feels authentic.
And then we talked about embracing mistakes
Yes.
as opportunities to learn.
Absolutely.
So don't let that fear of making mistakes hold you back from practicing.
Fluency is a journey, not a destination.
Love that.
Enjoy the process, celebrate the little wins,
Yeah.
and never stop learning.
Inspiring words. So before we move on, I want to give you, the listener, a moment to reflect.
Yes, think about
Think about one small step you can take today to make English a more natural part of your life.
it could be labeling one object in your house.
Or listening to one English song.
Even 5 minutes can make a difference.
We're here to support you every step of the way.
We are.
And don't forget to share your progress with us on social media.
We love to hear from you.
We're in this together.
We are.
Okay, ready for the final stretch of our deep dive.
Let's go.
We've explored all these great fluency hacks,
We have.
and I'm feeling pretty energized.
Me too.
It's just amazing how much we can accomplish with these small steps.
It really is.
So I'm curious about resources that can help people actually implement these.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any specific apps or social media accounts that you recommend?
Oh, there are tons out there.
Okay.
For reading, I always recommend the Blinkist app.
Blinkist.
Yeah, it's great for those short reading moments because they offer condensed versions of nonfiction books.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and you could also try the Merriam-Webster Word of the Day email. You get a new word in your inbox every day. It's a fun way to expand your vocabulary.
I've heard great things about Duolingo, too.
Oh, yeah, Duolingo is fantastic.
Practicing vocab and grammar.
It is.
And it's gamified, so it's fun.
It is fun.
What about for listening and pronunciation?
Podcasts are a treasure trove.
Oh.
You can find podcasts on anything.
All right.
So choose something that interests you and just immerse yourself.
And you can't forget about music.
Of course. Music is amazing.
Listening to songs, singing along.
Yeah.
It's a great way to improve pronunciation.
A rhythm.
Plus, it's just fun.
Exactly. Have fun.
Okay, what about social media?
Uh-huh.
Any recommendations there?
Yeah, I would say look for accounts related to your hobbies and interests.
Okay.
So if you're into photography or cooking,
Uh-huh.
Following those kinds of accounts will expose you to a lot of good vocabulary.
Right, like more specialized.
Well, exactly, and authentic language use.
And remember, you don't have to just passively scroll and comment.
Start conversations, share your own thoughts.
All right, the more you engage, the more you learn.
Don't be shy.
So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We've talked about these little habits,
The power of small things.
personalization,
Finding what works for you.
and not being afraid to make mistakes.
It's all part of the process.
But before we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Think back to why you started learning English in the first place. What do you want to achieve with it?
Yeah. What are your goals?
What doors do you want to open?
What connections do you want to make?
Right. So let that be your guiding light.
And remember, every step you take,
Yeah.
no matter how small, it brings you closer.
So go out there and conquer the English language.
Yes. And have fun doing it.
That's it for this deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening.